Hey guys, so I really love books, and I have tons of them. I have stacks on top of my stacks, on top of my bookshelves. Shelves? Bookshelves. I don't have enough space for them, so naturally I went out and bought 10 more today. And I thought now would just be a fun time to discuss my books, because that's what the internet's for. Um, the first book I'll show you is The Complete Works of William Shakespeare, an author you may have heard of. It has all his plays, I assume. Oh, cool. It's got a cool bookmark. I hadn't found that before. It says this is Back to Nature bookmark. Sort of reminds me of Wild Hickory Nuts, which is a reference I don't get, which may just not be a reference to anything. They were 508 pages into this when they stopped reading, or they started at the beginning of this, which is very, very possible. It's got the old owner's address, which, as I should mention, I bought these at Savers, which is like Goodwill or Salvation Army or something like that. Next book, in no particular order, is Stephen King's It, based on the movie. No, not based on the movie. The movie's based on the book. The movie is based on it, if you will. Haha. It is 1,113 pages long, which is almost 4 ones, if you just written one fewer page back and front. So, he's failed us all. Good work, Stephen King. The next book I have is On the Road by Jack Kerouac. I am not sure why I bought this. I have 2 copies, and this one has some writing in it, which I'm usually not a fan of. But I don't know. It doesn't have very much writing. For some reason, this person thought the word rickety was a good word, because not only did they underline it, where did they underline it? There. They also wrote it. So, rickety is the new word of the day. Rickety, rickety, rickety. That is a book that I have 3 copies of now, and don't know why. I kind of had this problem where if I have a book and I like the cover of another copy of the book, I'll just buy it, which was the case with The Stranger by Albert Camus. Yeah, I have a copy of this book, and I just went out and found another copy and bought it. It's not a very long book. This is only 154 pages, and pages aren't very big, and the font is pretty big, rather. The text, the font, I think that's the same thing, actually. So I have 2 copies of this now. Actually, that may be 3. That may be my 3rd copy of that book, also. That's a bit of a problem. My next book is not actually my book. My girlfriend picked this out because she wanted it. So they have this thing where if you buy 4 books, you get 1 free, and I was at 8. I was like, well, if I just buy 1 more, I'll get another free book. So, long story short, she picked out 2 books. This is one of them, The Fall of the House of Usher. I think I have 3 copies of that, not counting that one, which is more than I need. Maybe it's just 2. We'll see later. This is a book I got just because I like the cover, and it's kind of... This isn't a very famous book, really, but it's a famous author who you may have heard of. And there's a phone number on the back for an 800 number, which is interesting. You find some very weird things when you buy books. Anyway, it's Ayn Rand's The New Left, The Anti-Industrial Revolution. And Ayn Rand, you may have heard of her. She's kind of famous around these parts being the world, I guess. Yeah. You can see my little Batman poster right here, and that's just a fun fact. And my Coney poster's right here. Oh my god, I will never be good at this. Moving right along, the next book I bought was F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Last Tycoon. This is a copy of this book that I actually wanted to buy back in August. Yeah, like the first week of August. I was up in Michigan at this used bookstore, and it's just this really cool store, and I found this, like, not this same physical copy, but the same cover and everything, copy of The Last Tycoon, and I almost bought it, then I decided not to, and then the other, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I found another copy of it that was, it's The Last Tycoon coupled with This Side of Paradise, which is another book I have. So I have 2 copies of The Last Tycoon and 2 copies of This Side of Paradise, which I haven't read all of them yet. I haven't read most of my books, which is a good thing because that gives me lots of things to read in the future. Hard Times by Charles Dickens is another book that my girlfriend picked out because, like I said, I needed 2 more, and yeah. Here's another Ayn Rand book, The Fountainhead, which is one of her more famous books. I thought that cover was pretty cool, and then also had something that I'm not sure I've ever seen on a book before, which was like the side of the pages was red, and just cool things like that will make me buy a book. I have a copy of Naked Lunch, which I had another copy before, and I bought another copy since, but like, it has a really cool cover, and the sides of the pages are black, which I've never seen before, and I'm probably going to show off the rest of my books in more videos, because I just enjoy this. And this all brings me to the book, which is, I don't know what the word is. I don't know if there is a word, but this is my life book. My goal in life is to read and comprehend this entire book, and it's going to be a difficult task, to say the least. Just a bit of background. William Shakespeare, his vocabulary was around 2,000 or 29,000 words, which is like the number of words, unique words he used in all of his works combined. This plus his soliloquies and all his poetry and such, which may actually be in there, I don't know, combined is a little more than 29,000. The average book has anywhere, a very minimum is 50,000, up to hundreds of thousands. I mean, it's really as many words as you can type as how many words can be in a book. But 50,000 is a good, very basic minimum, we'll say, for a very simple book. Not simple, but a simple novel. This next book has 63,924 unique words. It's James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake. He obviously he worked 17 years, like, after he published Ulysses, I think he lived 18 years after that, and 17 of those years he dedicated to this book, which is just filled with, every sentence is like a double entendre, or can mean several things, and it has puns and made-up words. It has, he's a man who coined a lot of words. If he found that there was a non-lexical gap, I think is the word, in words, he just made up a word, or I think he used a lot of words from different languages. Here is a word that is just very, very long, and I have no idea how it's pronounced, and I am not nearly that far. This is a very difficult book. It's, like I was saying, he spent 17 years just writing and writing this book, and maybe that 17 years thing was a lie, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, this is just, it's such an interesting book because he spent so long writing it, and it has such a, it was just designed to be such a confusing, difficult book to read. 6 weeks after this was published, James Joyce died in 1941, and then Ulysses was published in 1912. So 19 years, 18 years, it was published later, so I was actually right about that, which is surprising. Anyway, he he set out to write this book that was so confusing and difficult to read, and that's just so interesting to me, because to spend 18 years writing a single book with so many different words, and not nearly all of them English, it's just so fascinating, and I want to read it. And there are scholars who have read this book, and lots of people, and they argue what the point is, or if there is a point. I'll read you the first sentence just because it's exemplary of the text, I would assume. It starts with a lowercase r, which just sets the tone. River run past even atoms, from swerve of shore to bend of bay, brings us by a commodious vicus of recirculation back to Howth Castle and environs. I messed up half the pronunciations of those words. No, I messed up pronouncing half of those words. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So I went on about that book for a long time. I could probably make another video about that book. I could make loads of videos about my other books, and maybe I will, because this is something that I love books, and I love reading, and I like writing a lot. I'm not very good at it, I don't think, but I like writing, and I want to share books with everyone. So just go to a used book place or anywhere. If you live in Michigan, go to Black River Books in South Haven, Michigan, because it's a wonderful place. They have rooms full of very rare special books. Or they have a room full, and then just you walk in and you see so many used books, and they have signed books. I'll do a video for sure on the books that I bought from there, because I spent so much money on them that it'd be a waste not to. I didn't spend that much, but a lot for books that I can get in paperback. Yeah, just go to thrift stores or somewhere and look at the books and find something that strikes your fancy. People say don't judge a book based on its cover, but that's stupid. Good books have good covers. This is a spoiler. Here's Hocus Pocus, which is a good book in my opinion so far. Here's the front cover, and it's fascinating. It's so cool looking. And this is a first edition, by the way. And this obviously not as cool of a cover, but this I think is a very cool cover. I like the font a lot, and font, yeah. Font. This is very cool. It's got cool patterns, colors. Anyway, that is way more than enough on this, and I don't know if anyone will watch this. And if you do, you probably will be like, why is he talking so much about books? But I'm talking about books because I love books, and I don't know how to say that enough. I have all these books over here, and I might make more videos tonight because I just want to talk about books and share books. And if you do happen to watch this, you can leave comments talking about your favorite books or what books you can read next, or asking for suggestions on what to read. And a lot of people say that because, like, oh, if you want to talk about something, comment it. And my computer's now dying, and they say it because, like, oh, if people comment on it, then their video becomes more popular and such. But I just want you to comment because I want to talk to people about books, and I want to share what I know, and I want to learn more, because you can never learn enough about things you're interested in. Yeah. My computer's gonna say in a minute that it has low battery. Oh, that was so cool. I don't know if it caught that. Anyway, 15 minutes is probably enough time for this, so I'm gonna go. Everybody have a nice week, and I'm glad to be doing this video thing again. We'll see what happens with this series, I guess you can call it. But please go out and read.